All right. Welcome to the Power Word Show, Anthony Van Dyke. We're excited that you're here with us again on this beautiful, beautiful sunny evening. We're broadcasting live from the studio, and we're excited about the show that we have for you today. We know that it's going to be an awesome, awesome show. You'll benefit. So we're just asking you just to sit back, relax, and enjoy yourself. And we're going to go to you live today. Just a lot of good information that we have for you on our show today. We have a topic that you're going to love very much. It's called Recovering from Hurt. It's a new topic. Haven't talked about it before. Each week we're finding that the show is changing lives. People are listening from all over the country, and they're tuning in live to the show, and people are also streaming live or checking them out throughout the week. So tell a friend about our radio show. We're doing big things here in the great city of Suffolk, Virginia. But last week, I just want to recap on the show that we had. It was called Quitting is No Option. My beautiful wife, Nicole Van Dyke, was my guest speaker last week, and we talked about how quitting is no option, and we talked about all the trials and things that she has gone through in her life, and how those things caused her to become a better person. It was amazing at how she answered the questions, and I'm just blessed to know her and to be part of her life. So if you didn't get the broadcast last week, we ask you to log back on the Spreaker. That's Spreaker with an R, and you can check out the show from last week or any other shows. There's another one called Family Values, which I interviewed my son. Just tremendous show. This afternoon, the show is going to be about recovering from hurt. We're going to get right down into the show. There are a couple things I want to cover. I want to talk about when does healing start after you've been hurt. Second area I want to talk about is forgiveness necessary. Who does unforgiveness hurt? Are you an enabler? And then last, I want to give you the 7 steps for recovery. So if you're ready, buckle up, sit down, get your notepad, and we're going to start talking about an awesome subject called recovering from hurt. The first question I want to ask, I kind of like talking and asking questions at the same time. It says, when does healing start? When you've been hurt by someone, it could have been a parent, could have been a friend, it could have been something that you told someone in confidence, and it has caused pain in your life. When does the healing start? And you have to, at some point, decide that, I'm going to actually start the healing process. I'm going to start recovering from what has happened to me. Because you cannot live until you start the recovery process. You cannot progress. You cannot go forward until you're willing to start the healing process. It is absolutely important that you look back at what you've been through and try to learn a lesson from it, because healing will allow you to sort of shake the dust off your feet and determine that I'm going to do healing. I'm going to heal. I cannot take the pain away. I can't tell you that it didn't hurt, but I can promise you one thing, that you must find a way to get healing and to recover from the hurt that's in your life. Without recovering from hurt, you continue to remember, you continue to lament on what has gone wrong, and you are not prepared to go forward in the future. So when does healing start? Well, healing starts when you decide that I'm not going to be the victim, and that's when healing starts. The second question is forgiveness necessary when you've been hurt. It is absolutely necessary, because what happens is if you do not forgive, you cannot get your mind right. You become a prisoner to what has happened to you. Is forgiveness easy? No. It doesn't matter if you're strong in faith, if you're weak in faith. Forgiving a person is not easy, but it is absolutely necessary if you are going to recover. If you're going to get control back in your life, you have to start forgiving. You have to start trying to find a way to accept what has happened, even though you've been hurt. And I'm being very, I want to be delicate. I want to be sensitive to you tonight, because what you're going through cannot be underestimated. What you're going through and what you're dealing with cannot be overlooked. But you have to forgive. People oftentimes do things to people. There's a saying that says, hurting people hurt people. And I've seen children go through life scarred, battered, bruised. And a scarred person oftentimes find people similar to the one that hurt them. And then they go through life never ever feeling whole. And you have to forgive so that you can get wholeness, so you can get sanity, so that you can move forward. I'm not, in no ways am I a psychologist or a doctor of that sort, but I'm just telling you from my past experiences, from being a pastor, a mentor, helping people, and even been hurt myself. I realize that I have to forgive people, because people are people, and they sometimes do things in ignorance. They do things that they live to regret. So you must forgive people. The second thing that you must, third thing is, who does unforgiveness hurt? When you don't forgive a person, it hurts you more than it hurts them. I found myself thinking about a person that did me wrong, and they went on living their life, never considering me, never even giving me a second thought on what I was going through and how I was feeling. So I realized that this unforgiveness, I became a prisoner to what had happened to me. And so many people are just like that. They have become prisoners to what has happened to them. They remain locked up, and people that have hurt them are free. They're living lives as normal as possible. Some say they're living life willy-nilly. They're going on as if nothing happened. And you or I that have been hurt, we continue to carry the pain, and we carry the scars, we carry the bruises, we carry those things, and they're living as if nothing has ever happened. So, my friend, I'm telling you today that if you're going to recover, if you're going to be what God said you can be, you have to find a way to get that healing. You have to find a way to make sense of this thing, because you're the one, you're being shortchanged. You're not going to live the life that you can live. You're not going to be the whole person. You're not going to find the happiness. And then what will happen, you will hold people back. There are probably qualified people. There are people that want to be part of your life. There are people that want to love you and want to embrace you, but if you're holding that bitterness, if you're holding that pain, the people that really that want to help you can't get close enough to you, because you have an invisible shield up. So I'm telling you that if you want happiness, that if you want to move to a better place in your life, do not harbor unforgiveness. Is absolutely important. But then I have my last question I'm going to ask you before we go into the recovery steps. If you're going to recover, I want to get to that point, but there are 7 steps that we're going to talk about. But before I talk about that, I want to ask a question today. Are you an enabler? Oftentimes, and you say, well, what does that have to do with recovering from hurt? Well, I've found that many people are enablers, and what I mean by that is that there are people that you allow people to do things to you without holding them responsible. You allow them to be weak. You allow them to get over. You allow them to not be held accountable. And that's what an enabler is you make excuses for people. You may even be the person that's been You may have been abused. You may have been sexually molested. You may be have taken advantage of, and you won't hold that person accountable. You won't hold them accountable. You make excuses. You say, well, they didn't mean it, and so now you're still hurt, and you still have them in your life. And I'm telling you, I have seen multiple enablers. I've seen people that have had people, they were drug addicts, and they know that person in their life is a drug addict, but you'd rather give them money because you don't want them to be mad at you. If you're going to recover, you cannot enable people. You cannot make yourself so accessible to them. People will never ever treat you right until you gain respect for yourself. And I found that I was an enabler. I mean, there are people that they say they can't make it without me. They say that if I pull away, they won't be. They couldn't make it without me. And I found out that people can make it without us. When we pull away, when we walk away from them, they do one or two things. They either get themselves together, or they find somebody else to attach themselves. And I don't want to be ugly, but sometimes that they are like leeches. You know, when that blood runs out of they suck the life out of you, and now you're no longer, you can't help them anymore. So now they attach themselves to somebody else. My friend, if you're going to recover, if you're going to live the life that you always dreamed of, if you're going to live the life that you know you're supposed to have, can I tell you today, stop making excuses for people. Stop overlooking the obvious. There are some obvious signs that you've seen in certain individuals. They're so clear. Everybody can see it. Everyone is telling you about it. Everyone is telling you. They're telling you to pull away. They're telling you to leave that person alone. They're telling you that person is no good for you. They are telling you what to do. But somehow you've lost a part of you. You lost part of your self-esteem. You've lost the things that made you you. And can I tell you, until you look in the mirror and determine that you're better, until you look in the mirror and say, I'm better than that, you will continue to enable them, and you will continue to get less than what God desires for you. I've been that person. I've overcompensated. I've been that person that wanted people to love me. So what I did is I gave and I gave and I gave and I gave. And I realized, I didn't realize my wife talked to me, and I realized that I was overcompensating because I wanted them to love me. But no matter how much I gave them, I could not trigger genuine love from them. So I had to get to a place where I accepted them for where they were. I realized they'll never be what I want them to be. And I had to make sure that I was always in a place or position to say, you know what? I'm not going to be that person. I love myself too much to allow myself to become the victim again. And so I started recovering. And I like myself a lot better because I have begun to recover from the hurt. I'm telling you right now, the ball is in your court. Are you willing to take the necessary steps to recover? Are you willing to take the necessary steps to do what you need to do? Well, you probably now want to know, what are the 7 steps? What are the 7 steps? But before I get to you the 7 steps of recovery, I want to talk to you real briefly about the power of words. The power of words is the book is doing really, really well. The ebook is doing really well. Right now, bookstores in South Africa is carrying the book. It's being carried in India. It's being carried, matter of fact, all over the world right now. So anywhere you can log on to Barnes & Noble, you can go to Amazon or there's probably 10 or 12 sites that if you put